Recording in progress.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the final session, session 4. As you can tell, I am not at home. I am in a hotel room, but it's clean, right? The art on the wall matches my scarf, so we kind of all in alignment here. You guys know the drill by now. Let me know where you're watching from, and then we're gonna get started in about 60 seconds. Let's go ahead and spotlight me, Michaela, or I can do it. There we go. All right, day 4, let's go. Irene's ready. Chandra from Cali is ready. Mickey, Chi-Town, Jermaine, St. Lucia. Obviously, we are all live unless you're watching the replay. Ainsworth, Florida. Paulie G, Troy, Michigan. Chris, Atlanta. Tabitha, Florida. Rod Lake is back. Welcome to the party. DeAndre, Orlando. I like kicking it off with a little bit of music and getting it going. All right, all right, all right. Edna King is in the building from Washington State. Maria, Los Angeles. I see the check-ins coming in. NYC to Richmond. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party, everybody. So let's get into the recap. So tonight or today, depending on what time it is all about. I want to recap day 1, day 2, day 3, and then I also want to introduce you to what I like to call the third grade investment theory. I'm going to share with you how we can potentially work together and continue. How I can support you on this journey, should you choose to. And then we're going to open it up for live Q&A as promised. So we're going to open it up for whatever questions you have from day 1, day 2, day 3, or just about investing in general that you were not able to get that question answered. You've just been curious about it. So I want you to be thinking about your questions right now and being ready to type them in. Also, if you have a mic, if you're on Zoom, I want you to be ready to say mic or type the word MIC so that we can unmute you. So let's get straight into it. And boom. So you're in the right place. You're at the right time. Your first trade to a million. New year, new you. I hope that you have been transformed throughout this whole experience because I know what this information did for me. And when I think about sharing this with all of you who are watching either live or on the replay, no matter where you're watching this at, my hope, my wish, my prayer is that you leave encouraged, you leave a little bit smarter than you were before you first logged into the series. You leave hopeful, you leave with a game plan and at least a little bit of a better direction than you had before you before you came here. So that's my hope, that's my goal, regardless of what happens after this, is that you leave a better person. So, session 1, we talked about personal and financial goals. We're going to cover that. Session 2, finding quality stocks and investing for financial success. Session 3, the 5-year millionaire roadmap. I'm telling you, that was the one that really changed my life. I said I could come up with 4 grand if I dedicate, commit to learning this craft. Even if it took me 10 years, I like that plan to become a millionaire if that's what I wanted to do. Some people don't want to become a millionaire. Let me be clear. Some people don't have that dream. Maybe you want 50 grand, 100 grand for your first down payment on your house. Whatever the case may be, I am just saying when I saw this, I wanted to become a millionaire, but it also showed me a way out of debt. It showed me a way out of worrying about how I was going to pay for my kids' college tuition. It showed me a way out of worrying about will I have enough at retirement. It showed me that within 5 years, no matter what age I am, whether I'm 25, whether I'm 65, I could get caught up in 5 years if I applied myself and if I've, learned how to make 10% off a minimum of $4,000. So that one really changed my life. And I hope the third grade investment theory really opens your mind as well. So let's talk about day 1 and recap your goals. What are you tired of? This one is huge, ladies and gentlemen. People are typically motivated by one of two things. Number one, they're motivated by what they want, or number two, they're motivated by what they don't want. Does that make sense? So some people are motivated by the house, the cars, the lifestyle, the being able to donate to their churches, charity, community, help people out. Some people are motivated by, like me, I was motivated by, I hated my lifestyle. I was motivated by what I didn't want. I was like, I don't want to live like this the rest of my life. I don't want to raise kids in this environment, worrying about people breaking in the car, stealing, bars on the window, drugs in the neighborhood, gangs. I didn't want to, I was just like, I don't want this. And if I don't want this, I have to do something different. And if I really think about it, I was double motivated. I was motivated by the things I wanted on my vision board, and I was also motivated by the things that I hated and that I was tired of. So I hope that you took that portion of the exercise seriously to write down what are you tired of, and in your vision board, what do you want. And I think the most dangerous person is the one who's double motivated. They know exactly what they hate, and they use that word. My kids say hate, that's a bad word, daddy, because that's what we teach them. But the reality is hate can be used as fuel. Hate can be used as fuel to do good. You hate that you can't donate to your church or charity as much as you want. You hate that you can't help out a family member or pay for their medical expenses, right? So hate could be used in the right way if you rechannel that energy and say, now, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to take all that hate and I am going to learn a new skill. I am going to figure out how to never be in that position again where I didn't have the money for whatever the situation was. And then so can vision and want be such a powerful tool where you say, like, I want that so bad. I am willing to cut off Netflix. I am willing to wake up 30 minutes to an hour early. I am willing to finally sit down and create a budget and figure out how I can put $500 away every single month into the stock market. And at the end of the year, maybe it's going to take me 12 months to get my 4 to 5 grand. But next year, as I'm learning while I'm putting money away, I'll be starting the 6 year millionaire plan because year one is pre-calculus, meaning I'm putting money away and I'm getting prepared, but I'm learning. And then in year two, I can actually start the 5 year millionaire plan. So it may take some of you 6 years when you look at it from that standpoint. All right. Um, Top takeaways, your goals. What are you tired of? Your vision boards? Who's counting on you? Open a trading account. So let's talk about recapping day two. Day two was all about how do you get from point A to B? So you wrote down those goals, you wrote down what you're tired of, you wrote down what you want. How do you get from point A to B? And then getting from point A to B, I want to remind you, it is not going to be a cakewalk. You are not just going to wake up. And that's why I believe you have to motivate and inspire people because you have to motivate them and inspire them to do something different. But motivation alone isn't enough. You actually have to pair that with some sacrifice. And so you have to think about what am I going to sacrifice to get this money into my investment account? And remember, I started with $500. And so no amount is too small because I know some people turn their lips up or their eyes up. I'm like, $500, that's all I got. What I'm gonna do with that? That's not gonna do anything. I might as well go shopping. I might as well go buy some shoes, a purse, whatever the case may be. But when you start to realize, no, 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 this whole thing started because I was just trying to make $50 off of $500. And if you are able to put $500 into this machine, if you could put $500 away every month for 12 months, that's $6,000 going into the machine that can now start your journey. So there's no success without sacrifice. So I hope you took some time and thought about that. And then speaking of time, how much time do you have to dedicate or what do you have to sacrifice to put the time in to make this thing work? And here's the thing, we all put time into something. We put time into the gym, which that's healthy, right? But there's a lot of things we put time into that's not healthy. We put a lot of time into Netflix. We put a lot of time for some men in the fantasy football and sports. Maybe some women do as well. We put a lot of time into scrolling on social media. and you start to, if you actually, there's a thing on your iPhone, if you use an iPhone, maybe Android has it as well, but you can actually pull it up and you can ask it like, there's like a thing where you're like, how long have I been on the phone, or how long have I been on this app? And it'll be like, it'll show you like you wasted 3 hours on that app today. And so when you think about it from that standpoint, it's like, wow, did I put at least 30 minutes towards learning the stock market? Did I log in and watch a module? Did I hear what Jason Brown had to say inside Power Trade University? So we have the time. It's just how much do we want to dedicate to us? Now, I am not the guy. I want to be very, very clear too. I'm not the extremist. I'm not the extremist that says, don't watch TV, don't watch Netflix. Don't do anything fun. Just focus on making money. I don't think that's healthy either. What I am saying is, can we carve out a portion of what we used to do with Netflix, a portion of what we used to do on scrolling the cell phone, a portion of I sleep to 7 o'clock. Carve out a portion that now you sleep to 6:30. You give that 30-minute times to really say, okay, I'm gonna watch a module, I'm gonna research the market, I'm gonna just see what's going on. So I'm not saying go extreme because I don't believe in that either. There is a such thing as healthy unplugging even from the stock market, especially when the market can be up and down and crazy some days. There is healthy unplugging and just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix and binging it with your partner, or watching Disney Plus with your kids. But what portion of that are you going to tweak to now commit to the goals that you wrote down? That's why I wanted you to write them down, because they're your goals. They're not my goals. They're your goals. Okay. And then what results are you looking for, and then what time frame? This piece was really important. This is probably one of the most important pieces right here, because I remember when I think I talked about this in the book. But I said, when I hit a millionaire status, when I hit millionaire status, now I hit millionaire status two different ways. I was a net worth millionaire, and I've seen physically $1 million come through my hands, or bank accounts, investment accounts, all together, et cetera. But when I hit it, I was not surprised. And when I say I wasn't surprised, I'd want to say it like this: I felt like I deserved it. So I was not surprised. I said, that's about right. For the work I put in, for the amount of stocks I was researching, for the amount of time I was looking at trades and doing this and that, that's about right. I deserved to make X amount of dollars. And so when you look at the results, when you look at your life right now, everybody's at life because of different decisions, different things they make. Not good, not bad. What I'm talking about is more from a work ethic standpoint. If you like, I've been researching stocks all day, I've been taking courses, I've been logging in, I've been watching the mods, I've been practicing, I've been filling out the sheets, creating my I'm wrong level, my stop loss. It is very hard to look back a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, consistently doing that. And if you tell me I made my first 100,000, 200, 300,000, I won't be like, really? I'll be like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. You put in the work, you put in the time, you're playing in an industry that has unlimited upside potential. That sounds about right. But I also want you to look at the other side of that equation. When I say what results are you looking for and in what time frame, if you're like, I'm not gonna get any help, I'm gonna learn this industry on my own, even though I've never done it before. I'm gonna look at the market sometimes. I'm gonna treat it like a casino and gamble. I'm gonna pay attention to it, but not really. I'm gonna throw some money at it and treat it like a lottery ticket. Do not, here's what I would ask for you. Do not say that you are an investor, and do not say you are a trader. I would rather you wake up and people be like, you do stuff in the stock market. I would rather you be like, not really. I just gamble in the stock market. And if they say, who taught you that? Please don't say I was on this session with this guy named Jason Brown. The guy who wrote a book called Fire. No, don't give me any of that credit. Right? Just be like, look, I decided I'm not gonna learn it. I don't really care. I just want to have fun. And right now it's snowing back in Michigan. So rather than drive down in the casino, I logged on and just picked the stock and rolled the dice. I thought, let's see what happened. I bought a zero DT option. So I'm being facetious. I'm joking. But my point is, What your results need to line up with your efforts, guys. Your results need to line up with the effort that you're willing to put in. So don't have $1 million dreams, but $5 effort. Because that's what a lot of people do. They have $1 million dreams, then they have $5 effort, and then they complain when they make $5. Or they complain when they got $1 million dreams, they got $5, and then they putting in 50 cent effort, and then they shocked when the $5 go down to 50 cents. Like don't be one of those people, all right? And then what are you afraid of? This is a big question. This is probably one of the most realest questions that I can ask you, because at the end, I'm going to share with you how we can work together. And some people will take advantage of it and some people won't. But here's what I know about everybody that can hear the sound of my voice. There is something in you that is afraid. Now, sometimes you're afraid that you're not good enough. Sometimes you're afraid, what if I lose this last $500? Or maybe you got $4,000. You're like, what if I lose this $4,000? Some of you are afraid of looking stupid. But it's important to identify that, because once I identified that, I said, okay, I'm afraid of looking stupid. And then I flipped it on its head and said, how could I ever look stupid? How can someone ever look at me like I'm stupid for trying to learn how to invest? I'm smart for even trying. How could I ever be stupid? Because if I were to take that same money and go buy some drugs, then everybody would be saying I threw my life away. But if I go learn how to do the stock market, those same people should be like, I'm so proud of you. And even if they don't say it, I'm proud of myself because I am doing something positive. I'm trying to learn how to have my money work hard for me. How could I ever feel stupid about that? Now, when you think about what will happen if you lose all of your money, I had to ask myself that same question as well. I said, okay, what will happen if I lost all my money? And I said, oh, I know what'll happen if I lose all my money. I'm just gonna go to work tomorrow. I'm gonna get a check in 2 weeks. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I said, I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. I was selling cell phones. I was like, okay, I'll get another commission check next month. And I have to make a decision again. Do I want to shop with that commission check and give up on the stock market dream? Or do I want to go back into the market with that new $1,000? And so once I understood that losing money didn't really change my life, because I built my life to where I could lose $1,000 and I would get another commission or something. I built my life actually below my hourly. So I just didn't live up to my hourly. I lived below my hourly. I realized, like, oh, then there's nothing really that bad about losing money as long as you have disposable income. You can put yourself in a position to afford to lose money. And so this process is super important to really, really write down what you're afraid of. If you're afraid of picking the wrong stock, then the opposite is what you need to do. I need to learn what makes a good stock and how do I pick a good stock. If you're afraid of losing all your money, I need to look at what companies won't ever go out of business or are less likely to go out of business in the next 6 to 12 months. Then I won't lose all my money. So this portion is an ingenious exercise. In fact, Michaela, when I'm done, remind me that I should list all the things most people are afraid of and show here's how you can offset it if you learn how to do this, and that in the stock market. But very important understanding what you are afraid of. All right. And then we talked about how do we find these stocks. So we talked about the top down. That was actually day two. So I'm jumping ahead here, but we talked about how to find the stocks. So number one, you want to look at the stocks that companies that you love, you do business with, you can't live without. You also want to look at the top-down approach, where you look at the overall market, the S&P 500. You drill down to the sectors. You can drill down to the individual stocks if you want to get a little bit more granular. But you could also flip the pyramid upside down and say, okay, let me start with an individual stock that I love, and then let me scroll up to the sector and see what other stocks are in that sector. You may find some other makeup companies like Alto that you like. And then day three, what are your choices for building wealth? All right. This is the come to Jesus moment. I hope it's okay to say that. But this for me was the come to Jesus moment when I started to look at what are my options for building wealth. Notice I didn't say what are my options for making money. There's a ton of ways you can make money. Obviously, you can get a job. Obviously, you can drive Uber. You could DoorDash. You could do Uber Eats. You could buy go garage flipping, buy stuff on eBay. I mean, buy stuff on garages and sales and then sell it on eBay. There's a lot of things you can do to make money. Let's be clear, that is very different from saying, what are my choices for building wealth? Those are two very different things. Making money, building wealth. And when I looked at my choices for building wealth, it all roads led to real estate, stock market, franchising, starting a business. And most people can't do. Starting a business, Michaela will probably attest from working with me from 10 years. This is tough. We have some tough days running a business, but I love helping people in the stock market, but it comes at a cost. Employees, software, live streaming software, cameras, gear. People always say, like, well, if you're so good at the stock, they don't always say this, but sometimes you get people that say, if you're so good at making money in the stock market, why don't you teach your stuff for free? Why would you charge for it? And the answer is simple, because Zoom isn't letting me live stream for free. YouTube didn't give me a free MacBook. Facebook didn't give me a free camera with high quality and put the slides up here. Microsoft want to charge me for using PowerPoint. Like this, it's just not a free world. And Michaela, I don't know. Are you willing to work for me for free?
Um, I mean, I enjoyed a lot, but no, sorry.
No, no. uh, but yeah, I'm just trying to bring people back into reality. Is that this stuff costs money, and so when you look at your choices for building, well, building a business costs money. Buying into a franchise costs money. Buying your first real estate property costs money. I said, what is the lowest cost thing that I could do that if I got a laptop and an internet connection, I already had that. All I needed was some education and some money. I could get into the game. And the choice was the stock market. It is the most lowest hanging fruit. However, it is also going to take the most of you because you cannot remain who you are and be successful in this industry. And that's the toughest part for some people. Some people want to stay who they are. They want to stay a quitter. They want to stay a person that doesn't study. They don't want to stay a person that doesn't know how to take calculated risks. And that doesn't make you a bad person. You're probably a good member of the church, good member of the community, just doesn't make you a good investor. Okay. Um, so the blueprint I shared with you was the 5 Year Millionaire Blueprint, right? $4,000, earn 10% a month. And how are you going to earn that 10% a month? Options was the answer. Options was the Swiss Army tool belt or knife kit that you can use to tackle the market and protect yourself from blowing up your account, help you supercharge your returns, uh, control higher price stocks that you normally wouldn't be able to afford. This is one of the most prolific modern day gold rushes that is not a fad that's not going away. That's what I love about the stock market too. This is not something you'll learn and you'll be like, I wonder if this will be around 6 months from now. I wonder if the stuff he's teaching is going to be around next year. The stuff you learn here, you actually could pass down to your kids and your kids' kids because the stock market is the same and it's been the same since its inception. You can buy, you can sell, and you can take advantage of capitalizing on great companies doing great things. You could hook your caboose to their train, and you can ride the financial wave all the way up without having to hire people, fire people, manage stores, figure out how to build the next iPhone, figure out where the next data center is going. You don't have to figure out any of that. All you have to figure out is who's smart at doing that and say, how do I get a piece of that? Is that a publicly traded company? Are y'all with me on that? Let me know. I know I'm let me know. Let me know in the comments. Does that make sense? Are y'all with me? Because I gotta make sure y'all are getting this. Stock market is such a powerful machine, and we have to, as they say, treat it as such. We got to treat it as such. They're saying I'm Whitney, Mick, Ainsworth, uh, Chris. It's all coming in. Absolutely. All right. And like I said, get your questions ready because we're going to get ready to do question and answer here. So the biggest fear that most people have is losing money or buying the wrong stock. And so I want to talk to you about the third grade investment theory because when you look at this biggest fear is losing money and buying the wrong stock. When you think about a child that's in third grade, fourth grade, they're just getting ready to start to ride a bike. I want you to just picture it. Picture yourself looking at a bike and you see it, but you also understand that you could fall off the bike. You could hit your head and get brain damage. You could fall off and skin your knees, right? So you think about all that, and there comes a point where you look at the bike and say, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth learning how to ride a bike. But all of us standing here as parents, aunties, uncles, big cousins, big grandma, all of you on here know within your soul, if you saw a third grader in your family, niece, nephew, grandkid, kid, and they were scared to ride a bike. All of us, knowing what we know, would be like, trust me, you gotta learn how to ride a bike. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be life changing. Every kid learns how to do it. You drive up and down the block, ride around. You are gonna miss out on one of the most epic adventures of your life if you A, don't learn how to ride a bike, and B, you don't move forward on riding a bike because you're scared. Now, if a child is scared, what do we do? Do we just go say, go figure it out? No. We say, I understand. There is risk that you could hit your head and get brain damage. I understand. There is risk that you could fall off and skin your knees and skin your elbows. I understand that there's risk that you don't understand how to balance just yet. And so, what do we do as those of us who've had life experience and we know how fun it is to ride a bike and we've gotten past the fear stage? We say, I tell you what, let me put a helmet on you so we can protect your head just in case you fall off. Let me put some knee pads on just in case you fall off, some elbow pads, just in case you fall off. You won't skin your knees, you won't skin your elbows. In fact, until you get the handle of balancing, how about we put some training wheels on so you can do what? Practice. So you can practice what it feels like to be upright, hold the handlebars, and go forward on the bike. Let's get you in the practice environment. So that's what I'm telling you as your big uncle, your big cousin, your dad, your auntie. All right. I am telling you from up here, I look down on people who are afraid of the stock market. And I'm like, you cannot not do this. It's like riding a bike. You're going to miss out on one of the most epic times of your life, something that can totally transform your life. But here's how you protect yourself. Let's open a practice account. Let me show you how you can do this with training wheels on so you can practice and make sure that you don't get hurt. Oh, you don't want to fall off and get brain damage. Let me show you how you can buy put options and keep you from hitting your head and losing your entire account. There are ways that you can put knee pads, elbow pads, helmets, and training wheels on to learn this industry as well. Let me ask you guys this question. So, this is where the third grade investment theory comes in. If you had a kid or a niece or a nephew and they were in the third grade, this is a very simple question, and I'm going to go to the comments. How long should they stay in third grade? I just want to know. How long should they stay in third grade? This is not a trick question. Your niece, your nephew, you yourself, how long should you stay in third grade? This is not a trick question. All right. I want to know. And we're going to stay here till we get some comments. If you were in third grade, you had, how long should you stay in third grade? Paul says until you pass. Tabitha says 10 months. Rick says as long as it takes. Chris says until they understand the grade level. DeAndre, the only one that believe in his kids, 1 year. Okay. I'm with DeAndre. I ain't all of y'all saying as long as it takes, y'all lying. If your kid was in third grade 4 years, you wouldn't be like, just stay there, baby, as long as it takes. You can hang out in the third grade. Absolutely not. Y'all lying. Y'all would be calling in tutors. Y'all be taking the kid to get examined to see if they need special classes. Y'all would be calling in the cavalry. Is the teacher wrong? Is the textbook wrong? Do they need to stay after class? Nobody in here would be like, in reality, you wouldn't be like, it's your fourth year in third grade, but you know what? You go get it. It's okay. Stay as long as you want. Right? The reality is, the ideally, your kid should stay in third grade 1 year. That's it. 10 months, 11 months, 12 months. Bottom line is, your kid should stay in third grade 1 year. And the reality is, if your kid had to spend more than 1 year in third grade, or if even appeared that they were falling behind, you would get tutoring, you would get counseling, you would get support, you'd enroll them in after school programs. You would call in the cavalry and do whatever you needed to do so that they can learn and graduate to the next grade. The question I have for you is, when are you going to graduate? See, some of us are in third grade when it comes to the stock market. How long? Some of us are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and that's nothing to be embarrassed about. But the reality is, how long are you going to walk around and say, I don't understand how that works? How long are you going to walk around and say, I don't know how to open a trading account? How long are you going to walk around and say, I don't know how to evaluate a stock or read a chart, determine the best time to buy or sell? How long? We wouldn't let our kids stay in the third grade. But why are we staying in the third grade when it comes to investing, when it comes to our finances, when it comes to learning how to have our money work hard from us? I'm telling you today, it's time to graduate. It's time to grow pro. It's time to become a more confident trader. It's time to have the strategies for both up, down, and sideways markets. It's time to learn how to minimize risk while increasing your profit potential. And if you don't know how to do that, why aren't we looking at ourselves in the mirror the same way we look at our child, our niece, our nephew, and say, if you don't know this, I am going to invest in you. I am going to get you the courses, the books, the tutors, the teachers, the information to help you become better. That is what we do for the kid. When it comes to ourselves, we start to say, I don't need no help. I don't need to learn that. I don't need no tutoring. I don't need a course. I don't need any information. I'm okay being ignorant. I just decided I'll never learn how to invest. What if your kid just said, I just decided I'm not leaving third grade? That would not be acceptable. It would not. You just be like, that ain't even a choice. You leaving the third grade by any means necessary. You'd be like, oh, you getting out of my house. That's right. In the third grade, if you don't want to go to fourth and you decided you staying here forever, you got to leave my house. They might arrest you for like a child abandonment. But the point is, you'd be like, nah, we ain't playing that game. You need to look at yourself the same way. Like, I'm stuck in the third grade with my investments. This is the 2026, or whenever you watching this, you like, look, this is my last year. I'm graduating from the third grade. Are y'all with me? Let me know if y'all with me in the comments before we go. Y'all gotta, I need some amens, right? This ain't Sunday, but this is Sunday school. This is financial school. We got to understand that we have to get up out of the third grade when it comes to our finances. I no longer have sympathy for a grown adult that don't know how to read a stock chart. They can tell you everything about the NBA and LeBron James' stats, but you can't tell me about Nvidia. You can't tell me about Apple and you using the product. You can't tell me about Ulta and you running up there buying the makeup. Like, I don't want to hear you broke. I don't want to hear you can't afford your car note. I don't want to hear inflation, the economy bad. No, you bad. You bad with your knowledge. All right. And so we got to graduate and get out of the third grade. We got to get out of the third grade. All right. So this is typically where most people's knowledge gap is at. We did a survey and we asked, what are you lacking in from the stock market? Like, what are you confused about? What don't you understand? And here's what most people said. We took the top things that most people said. They said, I don't know how to value stocks. So I don't know how to value it. I don't know if it's overpriced or underpriced. Most people say they don't know what to buy and when to buy and why. I don't know what to buy. I don't know when to buy it, and I don't know why I'm buying it. Most people also don't know how to execute stock options. Every last one of you have participated in buying options. You just didn't know it until I explained it to you. If you bought car insurance, you bought a put option. If you've ever bought a house and you didn't pay cash up front, you gave them a deposit to hold it for 30 days while you get an inspection and appraisal. Most of you have bought a call option. That is exactly what you bought. So you've been playing in the industry and you didn't even know it. So don't tell me you don't need education. Don't tell me you don't need some coaching and some support. You've been doing the same thing and you didn't even know you was doing it. You just been on the consumer side of it, right? Not having enough time working a full-time job, you need support more than anybody. I like to tell people, if you don't have time, borrow mine, because I do this majority full time. Now, full time don't mean I sit in front of the computer all day, but if you don't have time, borrow my time. While you working your full time job, I'm researching stocks. I'm sending text alerts. I'm telling the team either there's nothing to do today, stay patient, or I'm like, all right, here we go. We found some opportunities, right? Finding the right stocks. Most people don't know how to find the right stocks. Not understanding when to buy and when to sell, when to cut losses. Some people like, it's down. What do? I froze. I don't know how to get out, when to get out, when to use your gains to pay down debt. At what point should I start taking money out of the market, Jason Brown? Uh, I don't even understand the stock market. Some people are like, I don't even know where to start. Where do I even open an account? Do I go down to the bank? Which no, you don't go down to the bank and open an account. That's not where you open your trading account. You could open a account there, but that's typically not where you go. All right. Most people don't understand the stock market. People don't understand how much patience they have to have. This is like going to the gym. You are getting ready to exercise a totally different muscle in the stock market. If you never had patience before, you about to learn. If you've never had trust issues before, you about to have some now, because now you got to trust yourself. You ain't got nobody to blame. You got to look in the mirror. If you never lost money before, you ever made a good decision and it still didn't work out? Sometimes that happens in the stock market. You did everything right and the stock still went against you. It's kind of like a dating relationship. I did everything right. I loved her. I loved him. I cooked. I cleaned. He still cheated, right? Does that mean you go give up on love, give up on dating, give up on wanting to have kids, give up on wanting to be in a relationship with the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever your preference is? No. It just meant that's part of the game on the journey to find love, on the journey to find marriage, on the journey to have kids. That is part of the game. That is part of the game with the stock market as well. But if you don't know that, then you're not prepared for it. It can knock you out the box, right? Charting, how to open a brokerage account. What are the other resources out there, Jason Brown? Most people don't know what's out there and what exists. All right. So, um, I hope that's making sense. A lot of people are saying amens. Faithful said, are you going to explain how the home purchase scenario you presented, like a call option, and how purchasing car insurance is like a put option? We already did that on day 3. So if you missed that, I would encourage you to go back and watch day 3 or session 3, I should say, and stop calling them days. Go back and check that out. But if you have a specific question, we're going to open it up for question and answering here in a second. But first, I want to share with you how we can work together. Then I want to open it up for question and answering, just in case some people can't stay for the whole thing. All right. So here's what I believe. I believe in life, and I don't care if it's the stock market. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if it's business. I don't care if you're trying to learn AI and how you can implement that into your life. You got to get around the right people and you got to get around the right information. I'm going to say that again. You Gotta, not have to. You gotta get around the right people and you gotta get around the right information. That's how I say it. You can say you have to, all right. You could be, but you have to, you got to, because I can remember having the right information and being around the wrong people. So when I had the right information, but I was around the wrong people, what do you think happened? They discouraged me. They made fun of me. They called me a nerd. Oh, you think you smarter than us? They also started to become jealous. So when I had the right information, but I was around the wrong people, that didn't work. Then I was around the right people, had the wrong information. My mother, she loves me. She's the right people, but she didn't have the right information. All my mother knew how to teach me to do was get two jobs. All my family, most of them knew how to do was teach me how to get into Ford, GM, and Chrysler. They love me. They are good people. Right people, wrong information. It's not until I got around the right people with the right information that it all came together. Right people, like, look, you should have your money working hard for you. And then they say, here's a course, here's a class, here's the guy I listen to. That's the right people, right information. You got some people that's like, I wouldn't spend money to learn that. Right people like, I absolutely spend money to learn that. How else am I going to learn? How else am I going to save time? How else am I going to learn from somebody else's mistake? So you got to get around the right people with the right information. If either one of these combinations is out of whack, it's doomed for you in your life. It really is. We go around the world, and I really do truly mean the world, whether that's through YouTube, through Zoom, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, or through our own seminars that we do primarily in Michigan. People come to learn and get this information. And the reason I like sharing that we do live and in-person events is because it's a snow blizzard going on right now back home in Michigan. Okay. And this is what I love about the power of the internet. You don't have to get into a car, bundle up, drive to a building, and we got to rent the space out. You can just log on from your computer and get this information. And so I want to share with you how we curate this, how we put this together inside of Power Trades University, because I believe in what we call the three C's. And if you've never heard of the three C's before, the three C's is courses, coaching, and community. All right. Those are the three C's: courses, coaching, and community. All right. And I want to explain to you why all three are important. And with your permission, I'm going to share with you how we put it together and how it could potentially help you. Now, number one, why do I offer courses? Why do I believe in courses? Here's the reason why. The real transformation happens in the coaching. The real transformation happens when you actually see how to apply this stuff in the real world. But the problem with applying it in the real world, how are you going to apply it if you don't even understand what you're looking at, what you're trying to apply? You see, if you look at any other industry, they make you take courses on how to be a doctor, courses on how to become a lawyer, courses on how to become an engineer. And then what do? They give you coaching. They don't always call it coaching. What do they call it? Internships. They call it residencies. Okay. They call it things like that. Internships, residencies. That is what is considered coaching. Now, some of you may say, but you don't pay for that coaching. Oh, you pay because they don't pay you. So you pay one way or another. Like you got to be in residency for 2 years and you can't work no other jobs. You got to learn how to be a doctor. You have to learn how to be a nurse. You have to learn how to be a lawyer. You have to learn how to be an engineer. Courses, coaching, and then they assign you typically a mentor, or you get to call and reach out to other doctors, other lawyers, other engineers, other people you went to school and say, I'm experiencing this, I'm seeing this. They're talking about this new medicine, this new form of law, this new form of engineering. What are you seeing over there at your company? What did you learn over there at your school? Courses, coaching, community. You take any of the three out, you become vulnerable or at risk. Because think about it. Let's say you got the courses and the information. but you don't necessarily know how to apply it. You don't have somebody looking over your shoulder say, yeah, I know that's how it works in a textbook, but earnings is coming up. Or President Trump is in the White House right now, and you might want to consider the market is volatile. Here's why you might want to tweak that strategy. Coaching. What happens when you don't have the community say, look, I'm down $1,000. I can't go tell my wife. I can't go tell my husband. I can't go tell my best friend because they don't understand. Community. You need somebody to come talk to about that. What if the opposite is happening? You up $10,000. You like, I can't tell my husband. I can't tell my wife, right? I can't tell my best friend. He gonna be like, "Can I borrow some money?" You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it goes positive and to the opposite end. You gotta have the community. You need to be around other people who are seeing, experiencing, and going through the same thing that you are going through. And so, with your permission, I want to share with you how that will work inside a 5-year millionaire inside of Power Trade University. If I don't have your permission, you have my permission to log off or cut off the camera or the computer at this point, because I'm going to share with people how it works, how we can help them, and then we're going to go into Q&A. We'll open it up for live Q&A, and then we'll wrap up. So inside a 5-year millionaire, inside of my university, Power Trades University, it's specifically designed to help you cut through the noise and shorten the learning curve. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all courses, coaching, and community is. It's a shortcut. I personally have found the hack to life. There's 2 hacks that I found in life, maybe 3, but 2 hacks. Number one, volunteering, giving your time and learning something from the inside, I have found has been a life hack. And number 2, paying to be in the room, be around people, and get the information that they have. Those have 2 life hacks that have served me very well, which is why I'm always willing to volunteer at church. I'm willing to volunteer in entrepreneurial organizations. I'm willing to volunteer, be on boards, because I know the type of people and information that I'm around from volunteering usually helps me become a better person. And it's not always a better business person. I want to be very, very clear. I volunteer in some things that just help me become more humble. There's other things that just help me bring me back, keep me grounded with life. Volunteering, giving of your time is a life hack. The other life hack is paying for the shortcut. I'll never forget when I went to it was Magic Kingdom, and I also remember at Cedar Point, that's a Midwest thing in Ohio. But I remember going with friends who'd be like, I wouldn't pay for the line skip pass. And I remember like, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't pay for the line skip pass. I'll never forget the one day we went to Cedar Point. We drove, I don't know, 2-3 hours to Sandusky, Ohio. And we only got to ride 4 rides because we basically stood in line for 2 to 3 hours for each ride, and we only got to ride 4 rides. On the opposite side, I never forget, I went to Magic Kingdom. I was working for Comcast, and Comcast, they own Universal Studios. Then we went to Universal Studios and Magic Kingdom, and they gave us the line skip passes. And I'll never forget, there's this long line of people, like I was in at Cedar Point, waiting 2 to 3 hours to get on a ride. I never forget this. I went up, got on the ride. We got off the ride, like, whoo, let's do it again. We walked back around, skipped the entire line, and rode it again. And we looking at these people standing in line for 2, 3 hours. That is what paying for the information, getting in the inner circle, getting around people who are winning. That's what it is like. It is like looking at all those people in the line who say, I wouldn't pay for that line skip pass. I'm like, we gonna have a lot more fun. We gonna maximize our day. We gonna get through all these lines and these rides a lot quicker. We gonna create bigger, better, faster memories. And it didn't even cost that much more. It was only like extra $100 or something for the line skip pass. But some people saw the value in it. Some people didn't. Now, also, some people maybe couldn't afford the line skip pass, and I get it. But I am telling you, that was a hack that I have learned in life. You want to meet with one of your top advisors? Try to take them out to lunch. They're like, look, I'm rich. I can buy my own lunch most of the time. Now, you buy their program or pay for their coaching or donate to their charity, you get a 1-hour sit down with Warren Buffett. You like, but look, that 1 hour go change my life because otherwise he wouldn't sit down with me. So you got to understand when I say cut through the noise and shorten the learning curve, that's not just something I put on a slide. That's something I truly believe in. Mentorship, being around people that are smarter than me, being in the room with other people that are doing the things that I want to do. That is what the 5 Year Millionaire Program inside Power Trades University is designed to do. It's for you to know exactly when to buy, when to sell with confidence. That's the key word. That's the key word. You could do this on your own, but a lot of times you like, did I miss anything? Am I sure? Can I get some second eyes on that? All right. And then know the best option strategy to minimize risk and increase profit potential. Basically, I'm trying to show you how to put on the knee pads, the elbow pads, the helmet, so you don't fall off and get hurt. That's what it's specifically designed to do. I find the trades, me and my team, and we share them with you. Now, don't get it twisted. I want to be very humble, very clear. Just because I find the trades don't mean I got a 100% win rate. That is not what I'm talking about. I am right more times than I'm wrong, but that does not mean I'm right all the time. But the majority of times, I'm more right than I'm wrong. And typically, I can see something that you don't see because I've been doing this for a while. If you look at one of Dante Miller's wins, he said, I got a 12% return, coach. Thanks for the suggestion on AIG. So that was an AIG trade that we did. All right. So in 5 Year Millionaire, we find the stocks, we find the trades, we do the write up. Sometimes we do a video, we have a spreadsheet, we send text alerts, we do a whole video analysis of what we're looking at and why. Now, this isn't new to the game, but I am sharing with you how I am finding these things and trying to earn a 10% return and follow that 5 year millionaire track, designed to find low risk, high return trades. And like I said, borrow my time if you're the one that's like, I work a full time job. I don't have time to look at the stock market. That's probably one of the, I would probably say that's the second underneath. I don't understand how it works. The second biggest excuse I probably get about why people don't take control of their financial future, specifically their investments, is they like to use that. It's almost like the wife excuse. When people get married, their spouse is always a cop out. They get married, they be like, "Can you come to this?" They be like, "Ooh, I gotta check with the wife, make sure we free that night." Like, no, you don't. But that's the new excuse because you married. I think it's the same thing with the stock market. The new excuse be like, "I would do it, but I don't know if I have time." Like, okay. Sure, you would do it, but you don't know if you have time. That's what this is about, getting your time back. Borrow my time, borrow my team, borrow the community so that we can put time back into your life. All right. So the 5 Year Millionaire Program is typically $100 a month, which is $1,200 a year. My team and I, we find the stocks, we give you the option strategy, the text alerts, email alerts, written analysis, video analysis, all designed to find low risk, high return, high reward trades. And I will let you in on a secret. Sometimes there are no trades because we will not just send a trade just for the sake of saying we sent the trade. Sometimes we truly believe there is nothing to do, but we have a special for those of you who've been through the whole workshop for the first 100 people. So stick with me to the end because I want to share with you the complete bundle and what we put together for you. Because when I saw this, I was like, okay, I remember when I got started, I was like, I don't really have 1,200, but if I'll do it, I'll figure out how to come up with it if I have to, because it meant I wasn't gonna let 1,200 stop me from becoming a millionaire. When I remember when I first joined network marketing, there was a price to be paid to join network marketing, but I wasn't gonna stop that if what they were saying was true about building residual income. All right. Mike, I don't know if Mike is on, but this is one of the testimonies he put on here because we have a section inside the university where we have our members post their wins and their trades. But I love this one. Mike says, out of 23 trades, had 21 winners and two losers, total net profit of 5,000 for the week and a 91% win rate. You know, it's now my third week in a row with similar results. Thanks, Jason Brown. So how is he able to do that? First, the course that you got to understand that you need to have. Foundations. My best-selling stock market course, it teaches you how to separate good stocks from bad stocks, how to identify the three most profitable chart patterns, which is understanding how to read candlestick charts, determine low risk, high reward time to buy. We're going to show you exactly when to get in, when to get out, how to determine your I'm wrong level, how to do fundamental research. All of that is baked inside of our foundations course, which is typically 597. Ryan T, I highlighted Ryan, so I'll pull out different things. And we don't swap these out every time, but I pull out the ones that I think most people can relate to. And he says, thought I would share my first win that I researched on my own. This is what I want for all of you. My first win that I researched on my own. I am not here to keep you dumb and captive. I want you to be like, I get it. I learned it. I know how to do it on my own. I can pass this knowledge and information down to my kids if I wanted to. All right. You'll also get my best selling options course, which is normally $997. We share with you the secrets to growing a small account, how to look for the option strategy, what's the intrinsic, extrinsic, in, at, out the money, what's the delta, what's the open interest, what should I be looking for before I ever buy an option? What are 12 different option strategies that works in any market condition, whether the market's up, down, whether you want to sell options against stock that you already own. I call it the rental income strategy and get paid every single month off stuff that you already own. We even have a strategy where you get paid for trying to buy the stock at a discount. And if you can't get it at a discount, you'll get paid for trying. All right. We're going to walk you through how to reduce risk and increase the chances of being profitable. And my favorite is how to make money from stocks that are falling. The market doesn't always go up. The market sometimes goes down. And we're also getting ready to re-record that course. You'll have access to the record, the new updated version as well. That course, I should say, normally $997, but not for you today. Kenneth Washington, he said, I bought this course 2 years ago, and I remember everything I studied that was in the course actually helped me make $100 a day. The most I've ever made in one day is 600. I want to highlight this. Most ever made in one day was 600. He made me a believer because I actually made money from his course. That is what I want from you. This is designed. You guys are, any teacher that you interview, there's no teacher that's like, I want to keep all my kids in the third grade. I hope they all flunk and I hope they all repeat this class. Wouldn't make sense. What I want from everybody who can hear the sound of my voice, who ever invests in anything that I create, courses, coaching, community, I want you to say, I got 10 times the value back. I don't want a bunch of people running around say, I didn't learn anything from that. I didn't become a better person. I didn't become knowledgeable. I want everyone to say, I studied this and it actually helped me make money. It's the best way that I know how to help you. 5-year millionaire. You can see my slide. The 5-year millionaire program, by the way, I find the trades that are designed to make 10% return ideally every single month. I can't guarantee that, but that's what I'm looking for. If you just want those trades, want to get those text alerts, it's $1,200 a year. If you want the foundations course, it's $597. If you just want the options explained course, you can buy all this separately on the site, no problem. You'll pay $2,794 for it. But when we do the new year, new you, we say, okay, what I look back at my journey in network marketing, and any of my friends from network marketing know when I joined, I was in ACN, I was in Five Links, I was in Primerica, I was in a lot of different network marketing companies. But I never forget when I joined network marketing, it was $499 to join. It was $499 to join network marketing. And that was a stretch. And I remember them saying, but you get access to our team, the back office, you get access to, we give you a website, all this stuff. And then it's just $50 a month. It was like $100 a month. I don't remember, something to maintain it. And I was like, oh, and I'll never forget, we used to be like, if you don't have $499 and you're over 18, you're doing something wrong. But I understood that anything higher was sometimes a stretch for some people. And so I thought, what can we do to where it's like, look, we can't give it away for free. We already teach on YouTube for free. We got a podcast for free, but we put together the most curated, structured course, I believe, on the planet. And we're getting ready to update it and re-record it. And so you get access to the updates. But if you want to not waste time scouring over internet, piecing it together, we put it together step by step, plan by plan, how you can get from I know nothing to understanding the foundations, researching how to build, buy a stock, technical analysis, how to look at the charts, how to invest, how to buy and sell, all the way over to 12 different option strategies that you can deploy to protect your account, grow your account, buy stocks at a discount, get rental income on stocks that you already own, get access to the trades that I have as well. It's $4.99 and it's $49 a month. Now, how do you get that? There should be a link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, or Michaela's going to put it in the chat box if you're on Zoom, um, or you should see it in the chat box on all the platforms that we're live streaming on, or below in the description. And that's not it. We've also broke down how to open your first trading account because most people get stuck there. Also gave you a video on how to do that as well. But there's actually another course inside of the course that's called a brokerage account training where I walk you through some specifics with your brokerage account. I'm also going to give you my cloud-based tracker, which is going to allow you to track your trades. We do something called a risk reward ratio. You put the trade in there and it'll tell you if it's a good risk, if it's a good reward, and if you should take the trade or not based on our methodology, the stocks and options chain cheat sheet. So this will tell you where you can go through a checklist and understand, did I check this off before I ever place a trade? And then for those who understand options, there's something called Greeks, theta, delta, gamma, rho. There's a time component to the options. How does that play into if you'll make money or not? We have a Greeks mini course, over $1,300 in bonuses. So when you add it all up, we're talking $4,000 and over $4,000. It's yours today for a fraction of the cost, $4.99, and then just $49 a month. All right. And so that is the 5 year millionaire game plan. And I want to open it up for question and answering, and then we'll close this thing out. So I know we went through a lot. It's a lot of information. So let's talk questions, whether it's about the program, whether it's about something you heard in session 1, 2, 3. This is the time to type in the word mic if you got a mic, or get ready to type in your question if you have a question so we can answer it and help you. So, Michaela, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. We're going to go to Irene. And you should be able to unmute yourself now, Irene. There we go. Hi.
Hi. You know what? I had signed up 5 years ago for this program and, had all these fears, anxiety, and all that. And somehow you come back again. And so I know this is the right time and I got to do this. So, I'm going to sign up and ready to go for this because this is for the community. I've seen a lot of other stuff and this does make sense. I got now to do the application of the information now so I can see the result. That's what held me back before, is my fear and the anxiety. So now that I'm looking at that and addressing that, and now applying, I want to apply this. There's a few things that I need to tweak a little bit. That might be, maybe I need to get a hold of Michaela and she can give me directions on this, but I'm ready to go. I'm a retired nurse and I'm ready for this. And my goal is in 5 years, I'm going to be in the $1 million range there. And I'm not going for all these big stuff. I just want to make experiences for people and for myself and for my family, and to teach my family and friends if they're willing to. But, again, the most important thing, like you said, you need to hang out with the right people because they're just going to tear you down. I mean, even I love my family, but there's some of them that will say, this is your gambling. So I see the value in this, and I'm ready. I just need to kind of get moving now because I'm anxious now to get going.
Let's make it happen. And we're excited to have you. And you said something that's super important. And I think, I want to just take a moment and address this. Not address it, but just shine a light on it. I love my family. I do not talk to my family about investing. I don't. I don't. They're I don't know. Some of my family might be watching. I love y'all. But my family, good family. I'm just saying, you don't have to talk about money with everybody. I talk about money with money people. I talk about investment with my investment people, just like I talk about business with certain people, right? And so I just want you to understand, don't leave here and shun your family, but you also have to keep some distance between the topics, right? It's like if you married, you like, I like my single boys, but when I'm having marriage problems, I'm not coming over there to talk to them, right? If you a parent, you like, I like my friends who don't got kids, they are good people. But when I'm having parenting problems or going through teenage years and terrible twos, I'm not talking to them about it because they gonna say that's why I don't have kids. That is not what you need to hear right now. You can't put the kid back in your womb. You ain't trying. You trying to talk to people who got kids, who've been through it, who are encouraging. And so it don't make them bad people. You just got to get around the right people with the right information, and that's not always your family, and it's definitely usually not your family when it comes to money. you know. So I appreciate you sharing that. We look forward to seeing you on the inside, and then we're gonna do whatever we can do to help you. You know, get where you need to be. We also got a live Q&A coming up for everybody that joins as well. For our whole community, we got a live Q&A, like a private live Q&A coming up inside the university as well. So you also can bring your questions there as well. So Irene, we're looking forward to having you and helping you. And I'd love, I'd love nothing more for in 5 years for you to be a testimony and say, oh my gosh, I did it. I hit 1 million or I hit 500,000. Like even if we shoot, what they say, if you shoot for the stars and fall short, shoot for the moon or the sun and you fall short, you're still among the stars. It's like just going after it, even if we fall short and you end up with extra 300 grand. I'm telling you, most people don't ever get there. So thanks for sharing. Michaela, back to you. Either the next question or whatever, if somebody needs to get unmuted.
I appreciate Carmen's comments. She said that was so profound what you told Irene. And she was also very positive about the program as well. So that's awesome. Marie has a question. How many times do you meet in a week?
So usually, okay, so let me be clear. The 5-year millionaire program, you get access to the courses and the trade alerts. There is an option to upgrade if you want to be part of the broader program, which we do a live session every Monday from not 6 p.m., 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then typically I'll do a midweek update, so Wednesday. So we don't look at the market like every single day because that's just, we don't want to overtrade, overanalyze. So we typically look at it Monday, the first day coming off the weekend. And then we go halfway through the week and say, okay, what's going on Wednesday? The stuff we talked about Monday, does this still apply? Are we looking to do something different? And then every now and again, we'll also do a end of week update. If the market was just crazy, we'll do a session on Friday. But typically Monday, 8 to 9, and then Wednesday, 12 to 1. It's all recorded though. So we try to do it around lunchtime, Eastern Standard Time, but it's all recorded. So if you can't make it, again, it's recorded. You could watch the recording. We also timestamp everything. So you could just jump to a certain part in the video if you're like, I want to know what NVIDIA did, or I want to know what, he said about the overall market. You could jump to that part in the video. We also have a spreadsheet uh, well, that's part of the broader program, but we also try to track the trades on a spreadsheet. But typically, I do a video about it, a write up about it, and that's where the actual trade and discussion will live. And you can ask a question, comment on it underneath it as well.
Yes, awesome question. So yeah, if you do want to upgrade, there is an option to do that. Lynn asks, how long do you have access to the program, and is there a PDF of the trainings?
Yes, there are cheat sheets throughout the whole program that you can download. You have access to the program as long as you're a member. Now, if you want to buy lifetime access, then you can pay the regular price is lifetime access. This is access to the program at a super discounted price. So as long as you're paying the $50 a month, you got access to it. No contracts, no commitment. We're not trying to lock you into anything. You can cancel whenever you want. But when you cancel, obviously you use access unless you want to purchase the courses outright, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone learns at different rates, so you don't locked in for a certain amount of time. Good questions about
Here's what
the
I will say.
program.
Well, here's
Yeah.
what I will say, Michaela. you got to understand. Now, I understand that everybody is not like me, but what I'm about to say should apply to everyone. But I know that everyone is not like me. I am a lifelong student of this game. I still pay for education. I just
Yeah.
I just studied to take my CMT, my chartered market technician. I think I paid 2 or 3 grand just to take a different test just for a certification. I don't need the certification. I'm not trying to get a job, but I'm like, well, what are they teaching people? And then like, if I hired a technician, what was they being? So like, I still
Mm.
pay for education and for learning in this industry. So what I'm saying, I still pay to be part of masterminds and learn. And so what I'm trying to say is, I would love for you to stay for life because you should. I believe you should be a student of the game for life. Whether that's with me, whether you graduate from me, move on to somebody, I don't know. But we all should be surrounded by the right courses, coaching, and community in all areas of our life. You trying to lose weight and go to the gym, you should be part of a community. I don't care if you got to pay $20 to be part of that gym community. It's usually worth it to be on that text thread, encouraging each other every morning. I'm going to work out. You going to work out? I'm here. You here? Like it's something about looking at these different areas in your life that you should be part of a community. You shouldn't be like, I'm gonna just be part of the weight loss community until I hit my goal, then I'm done. Because then you got a new problem. You be like, then I relapse. I start eating bad again, right? Like we start doing a good thing and then we stop doing the thing that got us to where we're at. And so it's like if the trades are helping you make money, if the community is helping you not jump off the ledge, if the courses are helping you understand, it's like why would you ever stop being a part of that? Like I don't ever want to go back to being a regular person, meaning like not getting coached, not getting information. Um, that's a scary life for me because I know I don't know it all. I mean, I'm with people who are like, hey, did you know you can do this with AI? So I'm like, ooh, because I stay in those circles, I built an AI stock market research agent for our members. So they can go in and put a stock symbol into our AI research bot. It'll pull back the earnings report. It'll pull back the top 3 questions from the analyst asked. It'll do a comparison. I mean, I built that just because I keep learning and I keep putting myself around other people, and then I bring it back to the community to enhance it for our members. But can you imagine? It's like I'm done learning. I don't need to learn about AI. I don't need to learn about anything else. Like, why would I ever stop learning? So I want you to think about changing your mentality. But yeah, I mean, there's no contract, no commitment. You can come, go, quit as you please. Um, there's no refunds either. You just get access until the last day of the month that you paid through. But, get into your mind, I will always be in a community for my health, for my relationships, for my finances.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I like what Lynn said. She said, I love education. It's ongoing learning in life in general. We don't stop learning and growing. Well said, Lynn. A few more questions about the program. Lewis or Lois, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. How are the trade alerts initiated and communicated?
So let me do this, Michaela, because like I don't like I don't want people to I always feel like if there's an opportunity to show people, why not just show them, right? I mean, like I don't.
Yeah,
So let me log in and see if I
yeah,
can
that's good. Go behind the scenes.
yeah,
I
just let's
like.
just go behind the scenes, right? Like why not? All right. So once you're in here, uh, these are notifications at the top. So like we got our Q&A coming up. This kind of talk about the New Year, New You challenge. Members get to go through that. Uh, you come in here, you can introduce yourself, right? There's pre-work for the challenge if you register for the last time. So this is the Ultimate Beginners Basic course. This is the Foundations course. So when you click in, there's modules, trading account, there's bonus PDF stuff you can download. Each course is a video module. We have advanced options. So if you want to learn butterflies, iron condors, etc. If you want to understand moving averages, Bollinger Bands, all this stuff. Then there's next level, there's elite, my high level mastermind, which we're not even going to talk about that right now. Then here's like the 5-year millionaire. So let's just take last year. Let's just look at, or 2024. I don't know. I just clicked into one. So when we find a trade, for example, like we were trading Palantir, we'll do the write up. We'll give you the target to the upside, the stop loss, the option to consider, the chart, the support. And then obviously you could have a conversation below it. You see most like I'm in, I'm out. He made like 2 grand off of it or something like that. So that's what the back end will look like. If we just go into like a basic course, this is going to the ultimate beginners course, just so they can get an idea. I mean, and then there's modules underneath the modules, right? So like the intro to investing. This is just kind of what it'll look like.
Hey there, power traders. Welcome to Beginner Basics. I'm stock market coach and option trader Jason Brown, and welcome to this course. This course is going to be super important to land the foundational success
All
to
right.
your
So we walking
read
through the basics
this
in
industry
here.
sometimes is that people come in.
You know, so there's a whole lot more, but that's just example how it goes. And we have different PDFs and bonuses you can download. So like you can download the stock market starter pack. I also walk you through how it
Hey
works
there,
in
Jason
here.
Brown.
And so I
In the stock
explain
market
what it
starter pack,
is.
there's 3 things that I'm going to break down that I really want you to pay.
So there's resources. I mean, we also have under resources, we also have a trade tracker. We also have the 5-year millionaire financial calculators in here. So you like, okay, I can start with 500 and you know, how much would I make? So the calculators there, I don't know if they don't have access in this one to the new earnings report and stock analysis tool, do they? I don't think so. You have to upgrade to get this, but you could put, you know, let's say you put Microsoft in here, boom, it's going to go out, it's going to do the research for you. So AI is thinking, it's just going to come back, pull the entire report down for you. So, I mean, we really put a lot of thought, work, ingenuity in this, and we're not done, you know. And there's also quizzes at the end of each course that you can take to make sure that you understood the knowledge. So AI is working. It usually takes a couple of minutes. It's pulling a lot of research and information. But while that's doing that, under the courses, there's quizzes. So you can take a quiz on each course to make sure you understood the information. And then I'll go into the trading forum here in a second, where you could talk to other traders, assuming you got access to that. I just don't want to leave this just yet. Matter of fact, here, what I'll do, I'll open a new tab. We'll just open that in a new tab. And so you can come into, you know, the general discussion, the beginner forum, the bullish forum, the bearish forum. You might not have it. If you don't have the whole program, you won't have access probably to the advanced options forum. So if there's stocks that you're bearish on, you come in here and talk about it. Bullish on any just beginner basic questions. Also, these are the group coaching sessions. So you can see in here, I just went live for that midweek update for our members. You know, we talked about day one, $1 of the new year. Oh, you know what, Michaela? We didn't have timestamps under this one. I just noticed that. Or is this a midweek update? That's probably why. Hold on.
Update. Yeah, it was alive.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, don't make me a lot. Yeah. So we'll add timestamps to the specific stocks that we talked about. So let's just say you like, what did he say about Apple at the 20-minute mark? You know, you could just scroll over to Apple if you don't have time.
Well, our I'm wrong level, I believe, was 220, 250, 265.
Right. So, I mean, you just want to jump straight in and see what we're talking about with Apple. You can go straight to the Apple trade. So I hope that helped or made sense with answering some of those questions. I mean, I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be going through the back end, but how do I get back to you, Michaela? Here we go. So I hope that was helpful. Just kind of putting your eyes on it, seeing, oh, wait, I didn't finish showing them the AI thing. Did it finish? My bad. Hold on. Now I look like, hold on, let me bring this back. It really do work. So to bring in the whole report on Microsoft, the earnings, the overview, the executive summary, major customers, competitors, analysis, key questions, analysts, headwinds, tailwinds, all the data. It'll bring it in right here for you. So that's one of the tools that we built for our members. And we're going to be working on some more AI stuff as well. But I'm just saying, we're constantly learning. We're constantly trying to innovate, bring you the best stuff and information and tools so that you can be successful in the stock market. And we're trying to do this stuff because people don't have time. We're like, okay, put the ticker symbol in, it'll pull the report for you. So we're always constantly trying to think about how can we help our members? How can we improve the experience? We're not perfect. We're not perfect, but our heart is in the right place because I was once the same person on the other side of the screen saying, how does this work? I wish I could ask a question. I wish I had other people I could talk to. I wish I had research tools. And I thought, why won't I build what I wish I had? Now, I don't have $1 billion budget, but I am building with the knowledge and the information and the resources we have. And I think we got a pretty robust platform and support system to help people become better at this investing and trading game.
Yes, I totally agree with that. It's really cool to see how people have increased their knowledge with this program. Just some of those screenshots that you shared, but I get to see it all the time of people posting their wins, emailing us, that they're learning this incredible information. And again, not right all of the time, but if you have the foundation, the knowledge, you're able to grow from there. And that's been amazing to see.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to share the win form. I'll just share the high level of the win form because people's personal information might be in there. I don't want people afraid to post, but we have a forum called Share Your Wins, and you have to take a screenshot of a profitable trade and post it in here. And there's a ton in here if you want to get inspired and be like, is this working for regular people? Because we're live streaming this, I don't want to go in here and show people's wins. I want to keep it contained in the community. But if you join us, go in here and click in 2025 wins, go in here and click in 2026 wins. But, check it out. It's real life people are doing their thing. All right. What else we got, Michaela?
So I think we covered a lot of those questions. I was also typing out some answers as well. So I'm just going to pause and see if there's any new questions that we can help answer. But I
Yeah.
think the behind the scenes was really good.
Awesome. Well, if there's not, again, I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be. I think we're going to be running the promo. Well, number one, for the first 100 people, and it's either whichever one comes first 100 people, or Monday, we're shutting it down. So whether we hit 100 first or whether Monday comes first, we're going to wrap this up. Then we're going to move on and work with those who are in here and with us. And so, listen, I'm a normal guy. If you got questions, call us. Our number is on the website. We can put our number in the chat. We're not trying to hide or run from anything. If you just got a little anxiety, want to talk to somebody, we can talk, but it's not much to talk about. I mean, if you like what you saw, you're going to get more of it. If you didn't like what you saw, you go get more of it. So don't sign up if you didn't like what you saw. If you're just unclear about something you wanted to see and didn't see, then let us know. We're here to help you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you be successful in the stock market. I want to see you graduate and get out of third grade. This is the best way that I know how to help you without, like I said, building out a custom platform costs money. Building AI tools costs money. I just want to, level with you and be real. Having Michaela as an assistant, having a team, all that stuff costs money. And so I believe we put together the best platform, the best program. One of the things that people used to tell us back in the day when we was like trying to save money, we had a Facebook group. But then what happened? People would buy the program. They'd be like, I don't like Facebook. I don't have a Facebook. I shut my Facebook down. How else do I get in the community? And I was like, gosh, Michaela, we got to build a private community. And I'm like, how do you build a private community? And I got developers and software and all this stuff. And all that stuff costs money. But it was one of the best things I did because we don't have to rely on Facebook for you to have access to the other traders and be able to talk and have a private community. And so all of those things are super important. It's well worth the $4.99 and the $49 a month. And then you can obviously upgrade if you want once you get in there. And so the link should be in the description, should be in the chat box, should be below this video if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. If you don't see it, just leave a message. We can reply to you below. And again, I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be, but I will say, you know, as you leave here, I remember in network marketing, something that always stuck with me when we did this and when we said this at the end. And I want to share the same thing with you. One of the things that I learned is they said it only took one Bill Gates, it only took one Rockefeller, it only took one Musk, it only took one whatever last name, one Ford, right, for them to change their family tree. It took one, you can call them crazy if you want, one crazy Ford, one crazy Musk, one crazy, uh, you know, Bill Gates, one crazy Gates, and their family's financial future was changed forever. And so the question you got to ask yourself is, I don't know if your brother was supposed to hear this presentation, your sister, your husband, your wife, your mama, your uncle, but you showed up for this presentation. You heard and showed up for the last 4 days. And so there was a reason that you heard, and maybe that reason was for you to look in the mirror and be the reason that your family's financial future changes forever. So if that is you, I welcome you to the community. I look forward to working for you with you. And even if that's not you, I hope you at least got some information to where you feel like I'm going to sit with this and think about how I really want to go after wealth. Because all roads lead to the stock market. If you plan on retiring, they got you doing a 401k, they got you doing a IRA, they got you doing a 403b if you a firefighter or a teacher. You might as well understand they putting that money in the stock market, but are they putting it in the right place? Do you know how to pick the right 403b or IRA plan, even for your retirement income? If you don't, you need to get this information because all roads lead to the stock market, whether you like it or not. All roads lead to the stock market if you ever plan on retiring. And so, why wait to 60, 70, 80 to retire when in the next 5 years you could potentially have $1 million and not even wait to retirement? You could be start living like you retired, not now, but in 5 years. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you for hanging out with me for 4 days. And the rest of you, welcome to the family. Michaela, anything that I missed before we wrap up?
I don't think so. Sounds good. Yeah, welcome, guys.
All right. Have a great one, everybody. Peace.